I want to have a conversation about bullying. And see, here's Princey Man. He agrees with me, don't you? Don't you? You tell him. Make sure you tell him. Okay? We're going to tell him together. Okay, Mama. Alright, so anyway, people who fit the neurodivergent spectrum altogether, these are, Neuro-spicy, autism, ADD, ADHD, bipolar, BPD, any of those kind of diagnoses, right? I noticed a theme here. I've noticed that anybody who has, there's my girl cat now. Like, include me in it, Mama. I want to know too. Nosy ass. Don't you flick your tail at me, ma'am. Okay. This is what I've noticed, especially through myself. I have always considered since I've gotten older, kind of a bullier. And I think it comes from being neuro-spicy my whole life, and that I recognize things that other people did not recognize, and I saw things that other people did not recognize. But I did not have self-esteem at all whenever I was a child. I didn't have any kind of self-esteem. I looked to others all the time to validate me. And instead, I got bullied. I got bullied for being the fat girl. I got bullied for being the big girl. I did not get the attention from boys because of this reason, because there was a stigma against it at the time. This was the 90s. You got to think about that. They didn't tell you that your body was beautiful whenever I was growing up. They didn't tell any of us that we were fine just the way that we were. They didn't tell us any of that. They told us that that there was something wrong with our brains, and that we had to have medication to fix it. And so since I've been deprogramming my programming for a very long time, my conditioning, you might say, and especially in Vedic astrology right now, that Saturn is in retrograde through Aquarius, and we're about to step into Scorpio going into Aquarius. Now I'm going to bring this around. Now, if you are a millennial, your Pluto is going, because Pluto is the planet of the generation. It's the whole generation. That's what Pluto represents. So millennials were born with Pluto in Scorpio. And it's now Scorpio season. And in Vedic astrology, I actually have a Scorpio sun. But in tropical, it's Sagittarius. But we're not going there today. We're going to go Vedic. The point here that I'm making is, though, is we as adults and as parents, it is important for us to find outlets in which to channel our emotions properly, so that we can learn how to deal with our own emotions properly. And then once the parent starts to learn how to manage those emotions, then we can guide our children through something that I learned called the circle of security. And how the circle of security works is that you must be mindful of your emotions, because they have this one thing called shark music, this one piece, it's called shark music. And what the scene, they set the scene, and it's just a beach scene, okay? And they show it in two different ways. The first scene, it's the same beach. The first scene is, it's got happy meditation music to it. And like it asks you, how do you feel whenever you watch this? And then it moves to the second video. Again, it's the same video, but it has different audio. And it actually has the Jaws. Dun-na, dun-na. It has that background music. So, and then it asks you, how do you feel watching this video? And it makes you compare the two. And essentially what it is teaching us is that if we show up at our children with rage, our children are going to feel that rage. If your child comes to you with rage and you don't know how to sit with that emotion, you're going to rage back at them. And because we're trying to teach our children how to sit in their emotions, sit in that shadow work, and then learn how to transition back up into the positive. And you really have to be in tune with your own emotions to do that. And you have to be really in tune with your child. And how they teach you in Circle of Security is eye contact with your child. They start teaching you that whenever they first come out, you're looking into their eyes, you're talking to them. You're talking to them, not at them. You are asking them questions. You are showing interest in them. And then over time, what happens is that child starts to grow up. They start to walk. And what they'll do is they're used to being with you, Mom. They're used to being with you all the time. So when they start to go and venture out into the world, how Circle of Security works is you're supposed to keep eye contact on that child. And you're supposed to stay in tune with that child so that that child stays safe. Because how the Circle of Security works is it literally is a circle. If you can sit back and watch your child and just only watch your child, don't watch your phone, don't watch anything else, watch your child. You will literally see them do this. They will go a circle around you. They will go off. They'll look back at you. You give them the okay. They'll go on. It's all body language. Body language has its own frequency. Body language speaks volumes. So they literally will go into a circle. And it doesn't matter how old the child gets. Doesn't matter how old, if you have a good relationship with your child. But it doesn't matter how old they are. They're always going to return back to you, Mama. They're always going to return back to you. But it is important. People want to talk about helicopter moms and If you kids knew what evil is actually in this world and what evil people think, you would not be saying that at all. Yes. Whenever they get older and they become teenagers, yes, it is important to give them choices. You're supposed to give them choices. You're supposed to start them out with choices at a very young age. Start them out with choices so that they can see what they are drawn to. Not what you want for them, but what they want for themselves. Because us as parents, we're not supposed to give them a gift. We're not supposed to give them a job. We're supposed to uplift their potential and find out through them what their potential is. Does that make sense? I don't know. I guess I'm just going on and on about this, but I think I've made my point. Basically, watch out for your youngins, stick up for your youngins. Normally, whenever something is happening in our immediate environment that we don't quite agree with, it means something's going on in here. It means that something is going on in here that we have not looked at yet. There's something in here that needs to be worked through first. And you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And this is why I love using Aquarius energy the way that I do. Is because Aquarius is the air sign that is a water bearer. It's the cup. It is a cup of water. It is the water bearer. That's what Aquarius energy is. So you cannot pour from an empty cup, my love. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So whenever you start filling that cup and you start giving that cup back out to the world, it changes everything. And so, yeah. Listen to your kids. Listen to what your kids have to say. Tune into their emotions. Tune into your own emotions. Learn how to sit with yourself in silence. And if you cannot do silence for a very long time, just sit with yourself in music. Just find something that you can bring your focus down into your body some way, somehow, and just let it go. Just sink down into it. Sink down into that emotion. Close your eyes. Meditation is wonderful. Meditation is wonderful. Learn how to meditate. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.